I just gotta talk to you guys like I'm your friend. Okay? Just like talk to him like your friend. Yeah, put my lip gloss in. I'm so fucking weird, dude. So I'm gonna show you guys how I go through the process of getting a really nice film professional look for my Instagram Reels to grow my personal brand. And you don't need a fancy camera. I mean, I used to use my iPhone 14 that I'm actually gonna show you how to set up and everything just to make Instagram Reels. So this is definitely doable without a really fancy camera. And to be honest, it's the funnest, and I believe it's the easiest part when setting up, and when you get good at it, it's super duper simple. But before that, if you guys want to edit aesthetic looking videos just like these, I'm gonna pop up on screen in 5 to 15 minutes. Go down the link description, you can find my editing packs. These editing packs essentially allow me and 1,900 creators to actually enjoy editing again. I mean, I used to hate editing, now I enjoy it. I get to do what I love in a matter of 5 to 15 minutes. So no more blocking out my entire day. It's just a simple and easy solution, drag and drop process. So once again, go down the link in the description, grab those packs as fast as possible, and let's get into this video. So let's first set up our camera. First, I'm gonna go off my phone. I'm gonna screen record it right now. And if you guys use an iPhone, you can use any phone as long as you got at least a decent, good camera. Perfect. That's what I use for a really long time. So all I do is, instead of hitting the video option and putting in 4K 24 frames per second, I didn't like to do that because then you couldn't get the kind of blurriness to blur the background. So what I like to do is go over to the cinematic, and now you can mess with the F. I'm kind of blanked right now. I don't remember what it's called, but that F thing in like the top right, make sure that you put that at like, just crank it all the way down to 2 or 2.8. That's the focus range. That's the focus range. So basically when you point it at me, you can see when you're looking at me right now on the camera that my background is kind of blurred out a little bit. That's what that F does. So the more you bring it down, the more it's going to blur the background. I wouldn't do it too strong, but I wouldn't do it too light, because I realized with my iPhone, it actually, the lower I go, the quality kind of hinders a little bit, and it looks a little too blurry, and it just looks weird. I don't know why. I was trying to record the other day and it was doing that. So that's one of the things. And then I also like to make sure it's at 4K 24 frames per second, because that's the highest resolution. Plus that's the best frames you can get on an Instagram reel. And then you can go up to this like top left thing. I don't know what it really is. It's the exposure. There it is. It's the exposure. It all depends on your lighting. I mean, you can mess with it, and if you need it to go 2, but I wouldn't really recommend bringing it up a crap ton unless, of course, if you're in a really dark space, but don't like overload it, and then your just lighting will just look terrible and the quality will look bad. So just kind of play with it. Use your eyeballs. That's all I do. Make sure to just use your eyeballs, and you'll get a good looking kind of shot. So now let's go on to the camera I use. I use the Sony a7 IV. You guys can grab that if you want to. It's a little of an overkill, but hey, it gets the job done perfectly for my type of content, and I'm looking for quality. So if you guys really want some like high quality stuff, definitely use that. And then the camera lens I use is the Sony 16 to 25 millimeter with a 2.8 aperture. That's what that F means. Just figured that out by searching it up. I'm having a little brain fart today. Those are the kind of specs I use for my camera. And for the settings I use for my Sony camera is the same basically settings I use on my phone, the 4K 24 frames per second. But now let's kind of go into how you should set up your lighting. If you don't have lights, what type of lights you could get, and just all this type of stuff. So we moved, and this is kind of the lighting setup I love to use when I'm doing short form. Obviously it would be tilted like that, but I'm not gonna do that just because it's the YouTube video. But what I like to do is make sure that my one light is on my left. And again, I'll show you guys how if you don't have these lights, I'm just showing people that kind of have lights already. I like to put my LED, that one that I can control like the RGB on it. So right now I just like to have that like simplistic aesthetic look. So I keep it white, but sometimes I'll change it to pink, red, blue, whatever I'm feeling. So I make sure that's on my either my left or right side, so that I can get that like kind of cinematic look that you're looking at right now. Same with this right one. Make sure it's in that 1/3 and the viewer can see it. And then the other one will also be kind of behind you to the right, a little further out, just so it's not like, oh, you know, like it's in Darth Vader or Batman trying to like get you. So make sure that kind of gives you this like kind of cinematic look for the jawline. It's nice if you guys have a jawline. And then I use a softbox that kind of gives me this face. You can see if I put my hand in front of it, whoop, see, there's a shadow. That's because there's a softbox right here. But let's say you guys don't have these lighting setups, and that's what I actually used to use. It's not a lighting setup. Well, what we can use is window light. So make sure that you're putting your face in front of the window. So I'll turn my camera around right now. You guys are kind of getting behind the scene. So what I like to do is, you can see this like kind of black right here. That's my window. And I have blackout curtains on right now because this is my bedroom and this is where I sleep. So I like to have it pitch black, but essentially get rid of that. Make sure that your face, you're looking out in front of the window. So then when it's like, I would say go film around 12 o'clock, noon, 1 o'clock. Make sure that the light is hitting you pretty well. Just on your face so they can clearly see you. And that'll make you look pretty professional. Once you get down the color grade and everything, you're gonna be looking sweet. And for the different shots you guys can do, I'll roll up just some B-roll right now. These are kind of like just the B-roll shots that I like to do. Just like your everyday type of stuff. You don't have to go crazy or anything. Just when you're telling a story and creating content, make sure to at least have some kind of B-roll or something to change the kind of look to it, so people are not just looking at you the entire time, because the retention span on these days is just terrible. And to wrap things all up, what I like to do is I have a tripod to hold my camera and my phone. These are pretty cheap, so there's no need to really go expensive or anything. I'll pop down the one that I would buy or the one that I am using. I don't know if I'll find it, but I'll pop down some ones in the link in the description so you guys can go and just grab another nice tripod if you don't have one, and you can start creating basically today. So now let's say you're done filming, you've got the video already ready to edit, but then you want to have a nice aesthetic looking like color grade, all the editing you want, just a nice clean simple edits. Well, I made an entire video on how I do it in just 5 to 15 minutes. So go click this video right over here in this like kind of general redaction, and you'll find exactly how to edit aesthetic looking videos for your personal brand in a simple and easy way.